Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be really fab. That'd be encouraging to me. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. We've lots more in store. So even though we're at the end of this grade 5 book, we're in the end section, there's still lots more to come. However, for now, if you'll turn with me to page 53, we're going to have a look at these general exercises. So these exercises may call into question any of the information that you've already covered in grades 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 combined. So this should draw upon knowledge from all of those grades. I've referred to this video as section N. However, this will now draw on material from all of those previous grades, and I suggest that you use this as a revision exercise to look up any information that you might feel a little bit rusty on, because some of this could have been covered quite some time ago. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tips on where to find the answers if you can't find the answers straight away. So all of the questions refer to this little extract of music here. So these questions will refer on all of your knowledge gained so far, and I'm just going to give you clues where to look to help you to revise these sections. And so this first question asks us what instrument we think this music is going to be played on, and you will find the answer to that in grade 4, section M. Question B asks us what key the passage is in, and you will find the answer to that in grade 5, section C. In question C, we're asked which degrees of the scale are not used. Just be careful that you read the questions carefully. In the melody, which is the treble clef. And that, we first discussed that topic of degrees of the scale in grade 1, section N. Let's look again. So we've got to tick the box or boxes, depending how many are, to find the following intervals that can be found between adjacent, i.e. next door notes in the melody. Remember, the melody is the treble clef. So in order to answer questions on intervals, you will find those answers in grade 4, section H. Question E asks us to name the chord at the beginning of bar 3. We first properly discussed that in grade 5, section H. It was originally also touched on in grade 4, but the more detail was just covered in this grade, section H. What does simile mean in bar 2? And so we find the answer to that in grade 2, section I. Now, we're asked to suggest a suitable metronome mark for this piece. So we first discover about the metronome marks in grade 1, section Q. However, that in itself won't entirely answer this question. So you've got to do a little bit of deduction for this yourself. So just have a crack at that, and we'll talk about that later. But just have a go at it and see what you can deduct for yourself there. We have to use a little bit of intuition in grade 5. It's not always just plain sailing. And then the last question asks us to write out the bars 3 and 4 of the melody, the treble clef, but using a key signature of 6 sharps. However, we can't change how it sounds, and we see how to do that in grade 5, section C. So that should give you enough to go on, and so I suggest that you just perhaps dip out of the video and have a crack at those questions. It may take you some time, and then when you're ready, come back to the video and we'll look through these together. And I always suggest that you just have a go. You're only ever writing in pencil. You'll have your trusty eraser to hand, so it doesn't matter if you go wrong. You can always just rub that out and try again. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. So I'm hoping that you've had a crack at this, and so let's talk through these answers together now. So we need to underline the instrument that we think the music is meant to be played on. So is it an organ, a harp, a piano? Is it a string trio, or is it a harpsichord? Well, the answer to that will be, by default, it has to be piano. So there's our answer, and we need to say why. The biggest clue, of course, is the fact that we've got pedal markings. So that's the obvious point. We've got the sustain pedal going on here. But also the layout of the stave. So there are the pedal markings, and it says to continue there. That's just giving you the answer for another one there, I think. Oops a daisy. But also the layout of the stave with treble and bass clef bracketed together also tells us that's for piano. So we could also say the layout of the stave. So we'll say and layout of the staves, as in the lines of music. That's what that means. So question B, what key is the passage in? And so the first thing to look at is our key signature. So we have a key signature of 6 flats, which would be G flat major. It's always a good idea to have your circle of fifths to hand so that you know which keys you're in. However, another little clue for a major key, a flat key, just drop back a flat, and the penultimate flat, the next one from the end, gives you your major key. So we've got B, E, A, D, G and C flats, knock back one, G flat major. However, we need to just scan through and make sure that there are no unexplained accidentals, which might tell us we're in a minor key. So there's no clues of a raised seventh. We've literally got the key signature of 6 flats, and so that tells us that we're in G flat major. Nice and simple there. Which degrees of the scale are not used in the melody in the treble clef? So let's see what we've got so far. Have we got a minor second anywhere? So let's glance through and look for some next door notes. So here we got a D flat to an E flat. Yeah, that's a major second, so we've got that one. Let's have a look. We've got G flat to A flat. Let's have a look, see what we can find. D flat to E flat. We'll work through. So we know we've definitely got a major second. So we've definitely got a major second, but I can't find a minor second anywhere, so we won't cross that one off. But I've already found a major second because the flats make all the seconds that I've come across major. If you've put minor, that's not correct because I don't think there are any. I can't see any, so that's not the answer. Are there any minor thirds? Let's find some thirds. So straight away we've got a B flat to a D flat, that's a minor third. B flat to D natural would be major, B flat to D flat is minor, so we've got that. I don't think we've got any major thirds though. E flat to G flat is minor. The key signature is making all of these intervals minor, all flats. E flat to G flat again. B flat to D flat again, it's the same third occurring, so that won't do. Let's see if we can find any fourths, perfect fourths. So here, A flat to D flat, that's a perfect fourth straight away, so that's that one. And are there any fifths? Are there any perfect fifths? And I can't see any fifths at all. So that's the answer. We should have major second, minor third, perfect fourth. Oh, I think I've missed one. I do apologise. Let's go back. Which degrees of the scale are not used in the melody in the treble clef? Go back to that one. Sorry. I saw degrees of the scale and jumped to intervals, didn't I? Let's now address which degrees of the scale are not used. So we need to look for, let's look for the notes of the scale. In G flat major, we need to find notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. There's 7. So we need to look for all of those. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to be looking in the melody again. And let's see what we've got. So have we got a G flat? Yes, we've got that one. Have we got an A flat? Yes. Have we got a B? Yep. It's just a process of elimination, so I'm just crossing these off as I find them. It's not a difficult question, it's just time consuming, so just take it a step at a time. Don't just haphazardly keep staring through, you might just miss things. So now we're looking for a C, it would be C flat of course because of your key signature. No, there aren't any C flats, so we know there's no fourth degree of the scale. Let's keep looking. Are there any D flats? Yeah, straight away. Are there any E flats? Yep, there we go, straight away. And now we're looking for note F. Are there any note F? No. So there's no seventh either. So if you just glance through, you'll notice there's no fourth and there's no seventh. But it's just a process of elimination to find out what's missing. Okay, so I've already done the next question. So the next one, E, name the chord at the beginning of bar 3. So here's bar 3. This is the chord that we need to be naming. So before we start, let's just sketch out. In fact, I'll do it here and then you can see. Chords 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we're in G flat major, but we won't worry about the flats because the key signature will deal with that. G, A, B, C, D. So G, B, D, A, C, E, B, D, F, C, E, G, D, F, A. There are all of our triads. And we've got position A, B, C. In the exam you will have some scrap paper, so you would use your scrap paper for all this rather than just squishing it in at a margin. So at the beginning of bar 3 we have a chord with a G, a D and a B. So it's a chord 1 and the G is in the bass, so it's the root position, and so just chord 1, or you could say 1A. You could even describe it as a tonic root position in words if you prefer. However, the Roman numerals are the accepted way of doing that. Inadvertently, I think I already told you what this term here means. It means, in context, it means sort of to carry on in a similar manner. And so in the context of this piece, it's telling us to continue pedalling in the same way. So to continue pedalling in a similar manner. So we will say, continue to pedal in a similar manner. And that will answer that question. Suggest a suitable metronome mark for this piece. Well, the first thing for this is we need to choose which beat the metronome is going to be beating in. And so here the the time signature tells us that there are 4 crotchet beats or 4 quarter notes per bar. And so our metronome mark would begin with a crotchet or a quarter note. You can put MM there, but it's not necessary. Maelzel's metronome, if I've pronounced that correctly. However, just the crotchet or the quarter note equals, so we know that we're counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes, and now we need to give a number. So if we bear in mind that crotchet equals 60 would mean 1 click, 1 beat every second. Now the piece here is said that it's sort of poco andante. Andante is at a walking pace, so just a little walk, just a steady little bit of a walking pace. So I think perhaps 60 is a little slow. However, we certainly don't want anything like 120 or 90. That's quite fast, because 120 is 2 clicks a second. That's quite a pace. And so I would suggest you starting at something like crotchet equals 76, just a little bit faster than 1 click a second. And I think you could go anywhere up to about 80-ish. Once you start getting past 80-ish, you're starting to get a little bit on the brisk side. So that's sort of anywhere within that range would be acceptable. And you just need to use a bit of intuition with that question there. And I think that's the difference now with this grade 5. We're not just asked to give an answer off pat, we have to use a little bit of interpretation and musical skill in the question and the answer that we give. So there's a little bit of leeway there within that range. Let's complete this section now. We're asked to write out bars 3 and 4 of the melody. So bars 3 and 4 of the melody, the treble clef, not too many notes going on there. However, we need to use a key signature of 6 sharps, but not changing the effect. And so they're asking us to write this out in an enharmonic key signature. And so, if you remember, this is the key signature of G flat major. So G flat major, which is 6 flats. But we could also write this as F sharp major, which is 6 sharps. And so that's what we're going to do. So first of all, let's get the key signature in. So clef and key signature, F, C, G, D, A, E. These have to be correctly positioned and in the correct order. And so if we are writing now instead of G flat major, F sharp, it looks as if everything's gone down a step, because G flat and F sharp would be like 1 step down on the stave, although it's actually making exactly the same sound. So here this is written on the line B, and so we're going to have to start a step down on line A. And so you can see here we've got B, D, A, and so instead we're going to have A, C, G, everything down a step, because here we've got B flat, D flat, A flat. Let's just have a look at that. B flat, D flat, A flat, which is exactly the same sound as A sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And so we've just enharmonically changed that. And so let's carry on to the next bar. So here we go down a step to G, and so here we'll go down a step to F. Down a third to E, so here down a third to D. And then here we've gone up a fourth to A, so here we'll go up a fourth to G. And that's that done. Well, we just need to add some stems in this last bar line. Putting the stems pointing the correct way. and then we've just got a little bit of phrasing to take from the original. There we go, and that's that completed. I hope that you found that helpful, and I hope that it's helped you to do your revision. Please do give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do go to sharonbale.com and make use of all of the information and resource that's available to you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.